everybody, welcome back to day 2. Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Quintana Roo, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We just are in the midst of sending out $5 million in grants, along with, we'll be sending out our 50,000th grant this year. Our next guest, who was 6th in the Ironman Pro Series this last year, Danielle Lewis, joins us. How you doing, Danielle?
Hi, Bob. I'm great. It's good to see you.
Always such a pleasure to see you. We saw you in New Zealand.
Yep.
And
I saw you every morning in New Zealand on the path walking.
Yes, every single day.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. And the Ironman Pro Series, because you were doing a lot of Ironman races anyways, this has been really a great addition to the sport, don't you think?
Oh, it's been great. I think it's something that the athletes have kind of craved for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Just, not always sure how to frame it, but this is a really cool opportunity and brings a lot of excitement to the sport.
Well, it brings excitement, but also dollars. And having
true.
what PTO with their T100 series, their Super League, there's obviously Ironman and Ironman 70.3, and then Challenge. There's so many opportunities for pros to make a living now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody knows that it's not a sport where athletes go professional to make a lot of money.
No,
you go
right.
in it for passion of the sport and competition and
Right.
the people that you're around and the challenge of it. But to be able to make a living is really nice.
Well, especially this last year, the bonus payout for that was 40, and you ended a total payout with prize money $75,750.
Yeah.
Biggest year ever?
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So moving in the right direction.
It is moving in the right direction. You continue to get better.
Yes.
And you're riding a new bike. It's your first bike partnership with
is.
Ventum.
Yep.
You're liking the bike.
I love it. Yes, it's very fast. I was out riding just kind of roads around town that I normally ride at home. And first ride out on these roads, I set some QOMs and segments up climbs that I've ridden countless times and wasn't even necessarily trying, just kind of riding. And it was a PR at least on the segment. So that just shows the comparison between what I was on previously to this one. It's just faster, baseline faster.
For me, one of the most impressive things last year was you challenge Roth and Ironman Lake Placid with 2 weeks apart.
They were.
2 weeks apart, you win Placid and get 5th in Challenge Roth.
Yes.
Yeah,
it wasn't too far off podium either at Challenge Roth.
And so marathons back to back like that. Had you done that before, that close together?
No, I don't make a habit of running many marathons.
Yeah.
I really just do them in the context of an Ironman.
Right.
And the reason I did Challenge Roth, well, one was Andrew, my husband, really wanted to. It was a bucket list race for him.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, let's go do it. But I also had some questions around my nutrition strategy that I used Challenge Roth to kind of test some things out.
Yes.
And so I truly don't believe that I would have won Lake Placid had I not done Challenge Roth.
Interesting.
Tested those different strategies.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. But then also the thing about Roth is that the temperature there is very mild. It's not a very hot run.
Yes.
Most of it is also on dirt and it's
That's true.
flat.
Yeah.
So those different factors help save the legs and the energy systems at least.
Well, so Challenge Roth, you run 2:48, and 2 weeks later you run 2:52.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty
Placid,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
I wasn't paying attention so much to when I was out there in Lake Placid, I was very much just in the moment. I was actually a little intimidated of the run course going into it.
It's a hilly course.
Yeah, you're pretty much always going up or down. And, as triathletes, we're strong. I don't know if I really knew how strong I was and ready for that. And so I had an approach of how I wanted to run that race, and it was mostly just kind of trying to think about floating up the hills and being as light as I could, quick turnover, shorter steps, and then just letting gravity do work on the downside of the hills. And when I crossed the finish line and heard my time, I was just like, what?
You're blown away.
Okay, cool.
So when you come off, would you consider this your best season this last year?
Yes,
Ever?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my first Ironman win. So.
Right. First Ironman win, 11th in 2024.
In Nice.
You got 11th at Nice at the World Championships. That's always cool. and 4th at Chattanooga. Very consistent all year long. You're 5th here in Oceanside, 9th at Ironman Texas. I'm sure this year that 3:18 marathon is going to be way different.
Well, I was on the side of the course just vomiting in Texas, so
That's hard to run fast when you're doing that.
yes, yeah. When that starts happening, it's hard to get nutrition in after the fact
Right.
and really absorb it. And so I was pretty much on fumes for the last 10K of Texas.
I remember you having some gut issues.
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a little bit persistent in long runs, anything really after like half marathon. And I've been, trying to figure out a lot of stuff with what's going on. I think I have some acid reflux issues and just acid buildup that develops after several hours of using lots of sugar, basically,
Right.
Sugar water is what you're drinking all day.
Exactly.
And so I think that comes to hit me late in a marathon. And so then that's what I've been working on addressing and fixing.
Love it. And we had a young man in here, Alan Voisard, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. The guy has taken so many of our challenge athletes and worked with them on swimming. Guy's missing an arm, missing legs. He's phenomenal. And you've been working with him on swim, because when we look at these, 101 for a swim, 105, 101, 105, we know that can be in the 50s. Right? And
That's what he tells me.
Right? And then for these, for 70.3, we know that you can swim faster for those too. What have you gained from working with Alan?
I've said this before, and I've explained to him too. It's like you can take a swim concept, any concept, you pick it. You can have 10 different swim coaches explain this concept to you in 10 different ways.
Right.
And it might just be one person that's like, oh, that explanation makes sense with how I think.
Yes.
And how I process and understand things. And so I think how he explains things and it just really helps me understand some of those concepts when it comes to technique, because that's just what I've lacked. I didn't swim growing up. I've had to learn later in life. And so I think it's just taking me quite some time to wrap my brain around some of these technique things. But I think what I have now is a really good connection between my mind and my body and how they're working together. And so
Yes.
I actually have more sense of control in the water. I can feel, for the most part, what I'm doing well and what I need to improve. And so
Right.
that's been really helpful.
Have you had a race yet where you felt like, okay, I get it, it's working?
Well, I mean, I'm really hoping it's going to be this one. Yeah. So we haven't been working together too long.
Yeah, it just started last year, right?
Yeah. And so this winter time is when we've put in some good work. And,
Okay.
yeah, hoping to see some of that work
Pay off here today. I mean, because the deal is you're on a faster bike. If you're closer out of the water, that will make a huge difference in that. 6th place for the series can move up into, first, second, third.
Historically, I've actually had, for myself, decent swims at Oceanside. When
Yes.
I came out of the water last year, I was near Emma Pallant-Brown.
Yeah.
Tamara was there. I was in good company.
Right.
But then I just remember when I first got onto the bike, I just felt like, man, I am pushing like 300 plus watts, but I'm getting dropped. I don't know what the deal is. And so I know my strength and my power is there, but the great thing that I'm very excited about is that I am on a new bike. It's a very fast bike. It's
Yes.
also 4 pounds lighter.
4 pounds lighter. That's unbelievable.
Think about if I had 4 pounds less at Nice to lug around.
Oh my God. And you still got 11th there, but yeah, 4 pounds up of those climbs. Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. And I'm
Wow.
already like a big girl. So
You don't
relative
need
to my
any extra-
competition,
yeah,
I know.
You
so
don't need to be carrying extra stuff.
Yeah.
Extra baggage. You don't need extra baggage going.
yeah.
going
So
up
anyways,
these
I
hills.
think, I'm excited to swim. I feel confident that I'll come out in good position on the water, and then I should have a good bike to follow that.
The thing that's been, to me, that's been impressive with you is just how every year incrementally better. Being patient is tough, but you have been incredibly patient, and it's paying off. You keep moving up the ranks.
Yeah. And I think this is something, and I think about this season and the things I want to accomplish this year. I kind of have a little bit of a mixed bag upstairs when I think through things.
Yes.
It's not a lot about placement is what I think about and things that I want. Of course, you want to place well in this series. You want to have some good results and podiums and yada, 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 all the things that everybody wants. But I also just feel like I've consistently just been kind of at the back of the A pack, if you will. Like if you think about like A, B, C category professionals, I mean, there's not that there anything really exists, but I just feel like I've constantly just been chasing, and I've been there, but just not quite there. And I think the thing that sets maybe your A level professionals apart would be consistency in all of their races, and then performing when it matters.
Yes.
And so those are two things that I really want this year, is just to have consistency across the board in all of my races, and then performing when it matters.
And when you finish your season like you did, and you've got a win, right? That Ironman Lake Placid is something you can draw on anytime you're going to race, because you know you were coming off of doing a full 2 weeks before, and here you are winning 2 weeks later. Where if someone had told you that a couple of years ago, you're going to do 2 full Ironmans within 2 weeks, and you're going to win the second one, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I appreciate the reminder of the good things, because the season is starting, and I had, the 2 world championships where I felt like I kind of got my head kicked in a little bit. So yeah, it's good to think about some of those positive things.
Absolutely, you got to draw on that. You can toss out. I mean, really, all the other races were pretty damn consistent. So you toss you can't all, they can't all be great. I mean, think about last year. Patrick Lange came here, froze his butt off, and was never a factor. Then he went to Texas, ends up winning the race, but then he does the European Championships and has a panic attack. Then he does Challenge Roth and gets kicked in the ribs, is out of the race.
Yeah.
All those negative, and so this year here, and then obviously finishes up with the greatest win of his life, getting his 3rd Ironman world title. And he came here. He learned from last year. The negative was he was cold. Well, he was here 10 days out, getting in the ocean. So as a professional, you gain from those. He said you learn more from those bad races than you do from your great races.
Well, you should absolutely keep learning. Every experience should teach you something, and you carry that forward, good or bad. So I think that's great advice from Patrick.
Love it. Danielle, thank you for taking time. Always such a treat. Congratulations on having a bike deal. That is pretty sweet. There's not a lot of those out there. Getting a contract and having a bike that believes in you, a company that believes in you, and will do wind tunnel and do all that different type of stuff to make you better. Partners are important.
It's very important. I think it's going to be a big key to my success this year.
No question. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you very much.
Again, day 2, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. Hold on. We will be right back.